missed it. We're going to do things slightly differently today here on the beach. The waves crashing in. Nice little southwesterly, hot. It's kind of a two-part plan I've got today. Doesn't always work. We're going to put out some squid baits, tiny little squid baits, to see if we can pick up a pouting. And then, all going well, that's going to be used as a live bait for something bigger, like a bass or even a conger. And we just look for a little tap on a rod tip to say there's a pouting on there. So no real finesse needed here. We just want to pick up that small bait fish, and I am actually using a Cascade rig. Picked the wrong one out, but this will give me 2 hooks, get some bait into the water. All these sort of knots as well, these sort of things, these should be sorted out before you come out. I'll just rush around too much. Plus I'm waiting for this tide. It's still a bit of movement in the flood out there. Right, stop rushing, Matt. So just a little slither of squid in here, suitable for those hooks. Don't want to mask the hooks, but for something like this, that's going to be fine. Let's tie that on. Not too bothered with bait presentation with this, but just make sure that that squid is wrapped on using the bait elastic. The hook point showing, it's away from the gate. There, just wrap that round, snap it off. So the live bait rig itself, the hooks can vary. I actually go from soft plastic lures like this, and then the fish will sit in there. It all depends on the size of the fish, obviously. Attached to sometimes a rolling bomb, because I don't want the fish, the big fish, hopefully a bass, I don't want that big fish to feel much resistance. So with the pulley rig, it shouldn't feel that much resistance on there. And a big long 5-foot trace. Circle hooks as well, and trebles that you can use. Probably this is the best live bait hook. It's a circle hook. Never been a great fan of circle hooks. I've lost fish in the past, but if you're going to get one, these owner ones here are excellent. So I'm going to tie that onto a pulley rig. So we know this hook isn't designed to put a load of squid on there, but until we're waiting for that live bait, I think we'll just leave that on there. About 20 foot out, don't need to cast it far. Well, I did think that 4-ounce bomb might hold bottom there, but I'm not so sure now. It's sometimes not a bad thing. It'll find its, resting spot with the other bait and bits of fish feed on, but I might just put a grip lead on that. The bomb's obviously being dragged a bit there, see the rod on the left, but I don't mind that as long as it's not bringing it underneath the shingle. You see how all the shingle falls off the beach? It can bury a bait and it's pointless fishing. I think it's out far enough. Well, a little knock on that rod up there, look. A whiting bite. I've called it, I might be wrong. There's nothing on it. Well, I just had a good rattle on this one. But we lost it last time, didn't we? So I'm going to let it develop maybe. I've done those squid baits a bit better. Well, see, that is a pouting and that is what we want. We'll put that on a smaller hook. But there was something else on there because it was really going for it. Maybe it's something going for this, who knows. Well, see, that is a pouting and that is what we want. We'll put that on a smaller hook. But there was something else on there because it was really going for it. Maybe it's something going for this, who knows. I cut away from the fishing for a bit. Can you see the seal on here? And it had a massive great fish. I think it's a flounder. I got a little glimpse of it. Might need to look back at that. But yeah, this seal had managed to catch a good flounder. I never know whether that's a good or a bad sign. It's a good sign there's fish there, but my excuses are the seal's nicking them. So we keep going. This wasn't the first session either. We came back today and tried again, same sort of tactics. A very different next day. So I've come down the next morning, it's totally different. The temperature's dropped by about 2 degrees. We've got the morning sun around about 7:30 now, and we've got the flooding tide. So totally different conditions. I wonder if it's going to make a difference. I've just been speaking to a couple of friends. They've been on the beach and they haven't caught anything from this venue. So there we go. I'm not holding up much hope. But we do have fresh lug today, which sometimes makes a difference. And the water has been churned about quite a bit. And now it's calmed down, very often leading to better catches, so we'll give it a go. Same sort of deal. We're going to have lug in the water to try and catch a smaller fish to put out there as a live bait, but before we do that we're just going to put loads of lug out, 2-hook cascade rigs and then maybe a 3-hook flapper just to get that bait in the water. But it's a lovely day. You can see here, because it is on the low tide, conditions look a lot different. Just the lug going on these size 4 hooks here. Can use a baiting needle. It's one of those extra things that I don't tend to bring and just about get this on without pinching through the worm. Doesn't feel like much. It's not kicking, it's like a dead weight. Here, put one on as a live bait. We've seen this before on the channel, Amazon reel. I'm not even going to tell you the brand in case you buy it by mistake. Yeah, in the market for a new one if you can recommend a good fixed spool for under 100 quid. this will be our live bait rig, but to start off with I think I'll just put some more lug on this as well. It's a lovely day, isn't it? Ah! I missed it. The rod was going absolutely nuts, so that was a big bass on there. It took it off. So frustrating just to see the I went over and over and over. I scrambled for this camera, pulled into it, and nothing, just nothing. I should have really been holding the rod. We've got a couple of different choices of hooks. We'll have a look at that, I think. Just have to try and catch another whiting and try again. Fuck it. It's amazing. The rod was just going like nuts. Just got to go again. So we've got the 2 baits out. And I'll just hope for some bait now. The annoying thing is, there's big fish there, but I didn't have the bait ready to go, the live bait ready to go. So I've dropped these 2 short now for the pouting and whiting, and we are getting little knocks. Well, a friend of mine reckons when you miss a fish like that, it's time to stop fishing and not go for a while. Almost lick your wounds. Meant to be bad luck to keep trying. Ironically, it was just going for the camera to show you, and I missed the camera, and I missed filming it and catching a fish. Someone wiser than me said the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. So we're going to do the same thing again, 4th try in a row, to pick up a little whiting or pouting. We've got crab and squid baits. Tides are getting bigger. Let's give it another go. We want a nice big live bait on this rig, so another go. So admittedly I'm not going for out and out distance today, that's my excuse. Get that bait in and go from there. So again, we've got some good conditions, look at this. First baits have come back nibbled, I suppose. I think there's a few crabs in there, so I've bigged it up a little bit there. We've got peeler crab and the squid as well. So there you go. We're surrounded by dogs today. Hello, look at this. Got one there. There's some bloke filming me over there. So we'll give this a cast, see if we can pick up something. Well, it's a lovely day. I've got 2 rods out at the moment. We're getting little taps on those, on the squid and peeler crab bait. I'm hoping for something a bit bigger. But I just want to show you this as well, actually. Believe it or not, I've got the lure rod out. We're having a few little flicks out in those sort of conditions there, so it's not particularly clear. But I want to try and dispel that myth that it has to be crystal clear to catch bass. It's quite a built up area here as well, but we're going to give it a go. Look at that beautiful skyline. Well, you can see we've had bigger tides and the wind has really been pushing in at 30 miles an hour for a couple of days. Quite hard to film in. It's tricky to fish in too because big clumps of weed out there, but the idea is the fish will be brought inshore because of this rougher weather. More stuff churned about for them to feed on. That's the theory, but again we're not going for the small fish to get the big fish. Simple as that, so it seems. But yeah, I mean, it looks good out there, but I've been saying that for 4 sessions now, haven't I? Come on! Where are the fish? It's gone off. Part of the problem at high tide is the amount of weed here is just sitting, waiting. It's going to come up into the surf in a minute. So it's a case of either putting the rods right the way over the top or dropping them short. At the moment we've gone long. Very light coloured dogfish, and they're on lugworm. You do catch them on lugworm, not just fish baits. So to unhook these dogfish is tricky. Dead to go. You can get the tail and hold them like that. Pliers help, but I think with these ones they're quite well hooked. So one there. Worth checking if it's a bull huss. You can see a real difference in colour there, isn't there? This one, almost an albino one, and a lot darker here. Strange pigment on that. Well, this really is a first. I always say to check whether a dogfish are huss, but this is actually a bull huss. I even phoned a couple of friends, both to confirm that, yep, these are bull huss. And the reason for the confusion is we just don't get them here. I've never ever seen or caught a bull huss from these beaches in and around Hastings and St Leonard's. Yeah, so it's quite amazing, really. Really strange to see them on the pack. I appreciate that huss are a common catch in some venues, but to me this was quite a fantastic catch, really, a real rarity, and I wonder whether it's the rough weather that's brought them in. So there are a number of ways to identify a bull huss. People talk about the big spots and fin positions, but really those nasal flaps seem to be the biggest giveaway. Very pronounced on the bull huss, and a dogfish, which you can see there on the right, just doesn't have them. So yeah, great. So the story sort of changed this week. It's Another little dogfish there. I think the sea's alive with them. Picking up these lugworm baits, definitely. Let's put this little fella back. Well, another one. There's a lot of dogfish. So if you want to see a video of the successful live bait and what you can catch, there's a couple of videos there on the left and on the right. Thanks very much for watching.